everybody, and welcome back to the Work and Talk podcast, a podcast for tradespeople by tradespeople. And I'm here with Rebecca of Ninja VA, and we're excited to learn a little more about what is going on in the world of construction. And we're going to start seeing that there's this big shift. There's a lot of awakening when it comes to your role as a contractor, an awakening in the sense of, is everything supposed to be on your plate? Are you supposed to be doing everything? And we're going to get some insights from Rebecca, especially seeing what they are tackling every day in the field with contractors around the US. And I'm just excited to hear your story, the history of how everything came to be, and some exciting things that we have planned for the year. So Rebecca, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share. I'm really passionate about what we do, and I'm really passionate about trades owners and contractors and electricians, because I come from a blue collar family. So I'm very happy to be here with you.
You said you came from the Midwest, right?
Yes.
Was that in Illinois?
No,
Chicago?
oh, that's a sin. I'm from Wisconsin.
Oh, so yeah, that's a big difference.
You'll probably be able to tell in my accent at some point during this.
You might sneak out.
But yes, I'm born and raised in Wisconsin, out in the country, and like I said, come from a family of blue collar workers.
I love that. And you mentioned before that it was your father, correct?
Yeah, my dad was a fabricator by trade and was welding. However, he was also working on cars in the garage at night, and he was remodeling our whole home, and he was helping build other homes. Like, just there's nothing that he didn't touch with his hands that he couldn't fix or make look pretty or build. And so I really saw every kind of part of the trades just kind of being his shadow.
I love that. And especially with the fact, like, I come from a family, nobody worked in construction. So I was first generation. So I never had that. But what I had was a lot of friends who were in the trades, especially in New York. We talked about how it was like big on union. We had a lot of older friends of mine that were union contractors, union electricians, and they would be like, go here, go into the trade. And I just had that upbringing of like always going with them. So I would go with them on a Saturday to help out here around the house, or them on some projects. And that's how I was introduced to the trade. So I never had that at home constantly like you had. So I always, though, when I was with my buddies and they're showing me around, they always took pride in their work. They would always be like, you see that building? I was there. Was your father the same?
Yeah. He actually just came here to Greenville, visited us last year, and helped with a basement project we were doing. And just to see like his pride in that project. And he has this uncanny ability to like look and go, that's going to be 3 feet. And then you measure it and it's like spot on. And so when he was doing this project, part of it involved a door, and he was like, see that line on the floor? Like, if we swing this door out and it goes over that line, we're in trouble. But if it touches the end of the line, that's perfect. And sure enough, we like swung it out. And afterwards he goes, oh, thank goodness, because I didn't measure that. Like, he just has such an eye. And so it's an art, it's a craft, what tradespeople do. And some people are just born with it. And that's such a gift, like my dad. But you can learn it if you're good with your hands, or if you have that like pride of doing something with your hands. And I love that. That's what I love about this industry, is the natural talents like my dad that you're just like, where does that come from? I wish I could do that. And then the people that have really put in the work and learned their trade. And now, you know, after a decade or two, have just built this wealth of knowledge and experience.
That's what my favorite part about it. Once again, it's showing you what the trades can do. We talked about before, like how blue collar can send a man to the moon. That's just the potential of what we can do. And another thing that I love to always reflect on is, if you think about what are the oldest buildings in history.
Like the pyramids.
Exactly. Now, here's the next question. Who built them?
Right. Well, aliens.
There we go.
My dad are sitting around.
Isn't that insane? That's exactly what I wanted to get. The oldest buildings till this day still standing. The pyramids. We flew out to Egypt, and they're saying, now who built the Egypt? They go to college, you know, history for Egyptians, and it's still like, it's undetermined.
Right.
I'm like, wait, what's going? So let's say whichever way of the spectrum you want to go down that rabbit hole, somebody built them,
Yeah.
but somebody built it till this day that it still gives question. And it's like, are humans really capable of that? And
It's
if
so good. Yeah. Yep. And
you
it's
just
still
see the
standing.
potential,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
love that because that's the potential of the trades. And that's why, we opened up a school, because we want to make sure we continue to see what the trades have to offer and see what we're going to build in the next 1,000 years.
Yeah.
But what I love about the trades is not just the good, but it's also the stuff that maybe people don't talk about when it comes to the stigmas, what we're passing off. Because now we're coming to a sense of contractors taking pride in their work, but they become so prideful that they don't want to remove themselves from the work.
Yeah.
You see where I'm getting at? So
Yes,
now that
yeah.
one thing that's talented, one thing that's their pride and joy becomes their Achilles heel.
Yeah.
And the sad side of it, because we want to talk about both extremes, not just come into the trades, but I've seen electricians who are amazing who love electrical.
Yeah.
They built a business and now they close down business. And every time you mention electrical, they get mad. They get pissed. And it's so upsetting that the one thing that they loved, they shut down because they hated the business side of it.
Yeah.
And it sucks to see that it just robbed them of that joy. And that's what we want to avoid. We want people to come over to see, like, okay, what's possible? What's the bottlenecks? What's some pain points? What can I avoid?
Yeah.
So that the thing that they love, they can keep doing it for a lifetime. Then once again, just like pyramids, in 1,000 years from now, people go like, who built that?
Who built that? Yeah.
It was Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
No way, that had to be aliens, because they're
Yeah.
prideful in that. What have you seen, especially working with contractors on that high level, that executive overview that you've been having? What do you typically see going on in the trades, and how does that introduce Ninja VA?
Yeah, wow, that's a big question, right? Because there's so much, and I love that you bring that up, because, like, let's get back to Ninja VA in 1 second. Like, when I was a business coach and when I was doing some consulting, one of the things that I would tell business owners sometimes is like, are you sure you want to be doing this? Like, what is your why to be the business owner versus being an incredibly skilled tradesperson working for a really great contractor who owns a business and is an incredible leader? And so I think it's okay to make that distinction of like, hey, I love my craft. I want to pour into apprentices and journeymen and give them an incredible environment to work in. And I want to lead that initiative. And as a team, we're going to build something that lasts 1,000 years, right? Versus, hey, I'm a journeyman. I'm going to go out and get my contractor's license, and I'm going to start a business because I saw other people in the trades do it. I think it's really good to like analyze the roots. I have a really good friend that says like it's good every couple of years to like literally like unplant yourself, like pull up the roots, like shake off the roots, and like just make sure the roots are still intact and like put it in. And that's what I think of as first. Like, if you're an apprentice right now and you're looking at the next decade of your career and you're like, oh, I want to get to running my own business, I would just ask you why. Because it is hard. And I say this with a lot of things, in interviews with people, in business, like, why, and is it worth the hard work that this business is? Because if you're going to be in business a decade, 20 years, 30 years, there's just things that are unavoidable that will happen. Like, vans do get crashed into. You will have a bad hire. Someone will steal from you. No matter how good of an interviewer you are, how great of a leader you are, like, some things just are inevitable because it's a rule of averages. Like, it just happens, right? You can avoid it, you can minimize it, but are you ready for that? Is that your personality? Is that something that you want to deal with and grow? So I would start there before I even go into, great, now you analyze the roots, you decided you're going to build a team and you're going to build this company. Now, how can we make sure that you have the best tools and the best roadmap to do that and still get home for dinner?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think how you broke that down, of asking someone their why are they even thinking about going in? Because a lot of it could, I wouldn't say peer pressure at an older age, but you just see everyone doing it. So you think, oh, maybe that's what I should be doing, and then you just follow suit. And then how you go over when you talked about understanding what's the variables out there. So I know we talked about it also, because there's statistics. If you go to the Department of Labor, you're going to see first-time business owners, 20% fail rate in the first year. 3 to 5 years, you're looking at 50%. So those numbers are there, like as this is not something just to come in with not being intentional, right off the bat. So it's going to require effort. So with that effort, and just like what we talked about before, where people go, you can't always remove effort, or stress. No, you can't remove that. When you enter anything in life, you understand there's going to be risk involved. You go to the gym, you know there's going to be stress. You understand? But the way you address stress, is it a proactive, like you're facing it head on, or are you turning your back and now it's a pain in the back and a pain in the neck and it's now reactive? Yeah, exactly. So I loved how you broke that down. So what are you seeing from ranges of contractors? Do you have new contractors coming in, or are they pretty much already nested, settled in?
Both.
Like, what's the range?
Both. Both, because some people have a really good thing established. Maybe they're seeing decent results. They're building a team, but they still are working 10, 12 hours a day. And they've been doing this for 10, 15 years. And they're starting to get to the age where they don't want to be in the office every day, or they don't want to be the foreman out on the job site every day. They don't want to be checking up on the guys, right? And they're kind of getting ready to go, how do I replicate myself in the business, or how do I step out? But then we also see new contractors coming in going, hey, I'm in year 1 or 2, and I am answering phone calls in the field. I'm writing down addresses on pieces of paper in my truck. I messed up the schedule because I didn't get back to somebody. But I have to work this hard to afford the next guy and the next truck. And so at any level of that, a remote worker can be the answer. And we can dig into like all the various ways. But yeah, I see it kind of across the spectrum, because it really doesn't matter how big or small you are. I can guarantee you there's an area that's being neglected because someone's at their bandwidth.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I do see a lot more. When we talk about electricians, when we talk about contractors and construction in general, everyone seems to, like what we talked about in the beginning, they think it's the old knuckle buster way. Like, that's just the way it is, If you didn't do 12 hours, I remember when I first came in, I was like 17, and I asked, like, how long are we working today? And the guy I was paired with hated that question. He's like, we work till we get it done. Right. One day he's like, we're working on half day. So at 12 o'clock, I'm like, are we heading home? And then he goes, no, half day is 12 hours, boy. And I was just, so that's the type of mindset. If you're not willing to put in 8 to 12 hours, that is already telling you the trajectory where you're going. But they take pride in that. So what I like now, and I don't know if it's a generational thing, because people always talk about like Gen Z, like they don't want to work, right? But we're also coming into this generation of millennials, like my age group, where I'm talking to electrical contractors, and they're saying, I'm seeing what boomers went through, and I don't want that. I don't. So there's that. There's a change. There's really a shift happening. Where they said, no, if I need to, I already learned that way, so I can do the 12 hours. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, we're like, something's not math. Why would I want to end up at that same with my knees blown out, my back's blown out? I'm just grumpy every day. And that's not attracting to a lot. So I'm seeing a lot of new contractors coming in saying, I'm okay with doing something different. What is there out there? So what do you think if somebody's coming in who's new to business, who's great at electrical? Let's break this down into tasks or viewing those different types of responsibilities, because that's at the end of the day what's going to dictate how long you're working, right? Because you have the 8-hour day, but then you have some tasks in the office that you have to handle. That electricians just aren't exposed to. What are some?
Those tasks that you're talking about grow the business, right? So let's be real. Like, there are 101 tasks we could put on this list, But let's just talk about some of the ones that grow the business that get missed. And let's just hypothetically say you're one guy or you're one or two guys, and that's how big your business is. So you are still in the field a majority of the time, if not the whole day. So number one, first task, it's answering that phone.
Yep.
We know speed to lead. That's it.
Yep.
Full stop, speed to lead. If you don't pick up that phone, they're calling someone else, especially if you're in residential. I can, as a homeowner, I can speak to that. If my AC goes out right now, it's the summer in South Carolina, and I call your shop and you don't answer, I'm calling the next one, right? If my power goes out and I know it's my home, and the first electrician I call, if they don't answer, I'm calling the next one, right? So speed to lead. So who's answering the phones? And since we're working with this hypothetical of, hey, it's just you and one other person maybe in the field, a $60,000, $70,000 a year in-house admin is not realistic, and nor should it be for your business. You're right, you don't have the cash for that because you need to be saving up for the next van, the next equipment purchase, right? So that's number one, like who's going to answer those phone calls? And if a call's missed, who's following up with them? You don't want to do that when you've already worked a 10-hour day, a job went long, something went wrong, and you walk in your house and your wife or husband says hello and you're like, hold on, I got to call someone back.
Yep.
That's not going to last long in the relationship.
Yeah,
so
that's always going to be that thorn.
I just always start with that very first fundamental task. Who's answering the phone so you can book jobs for next week? Who's calling people back? Who's checking the leads that are coming in on the website, Facebook, Instagram, Google Ads, whatever you're running, Angie's List, Thumbtack, you name it. Again, speed to lead. If that lead came in at 9 a.m. and you were in a panel and you didn't see it till 4:30 when you hopped in the truck to round out your day, and you call on your way home, that person already, we know if it's Angie's List or Thumbtacks, they already had 15 calls. So there's a lead missed. So that speed to lead, think about anywhere leads are coming in. Can you honestly say all of those are getting like, yes, we're on it in 5 minutes or less? And that right there, strong foundation there, that helps grow the business because now you're booked out for the next week and the next week. And you're not having that stress from the get-go of, now I brought on a helper or an apprentice, and what are we doing next week? Because I got one salary to cover already.
I like that because so many people want to take this information and they think, oh, so you're saying I'm not working hard enough. But
you're not supposed to work any hard. Like you are working hard enough. You are actually working harder than the competition who's thinking they're working harder by going home. And from 6 to 9, like there's that joke of like 9 to 5 and then like you're 5 to 9, you're like doing your entrepreneur stuff. Now you're doing 9 to 9. I would assume if you have someone at home, ruining relationships at home, and then you're exhausted and you got to get up and do it all again the next morning, over and over and over again. And
times that by 30 years.
Yeah.
And then we end up with what we have today.
Yeah. And when you start to kind of do the math of, okay, what's my average ticket and how many calls did I miss in a month? Or did I call back? And I get people aren't doing this either when you're the only person out in the field. Like, are you keeping a tally mark of how many people you call back that said, oh, I already got somebody? Because that can be a huge, now multiply that, like just tick that off on a sticky note in your truck. And at the end of the week, count that up and then multiply it by your average ticket. And that's, it's probably 10 times what a remote worker would cost to have answered those phone calls or to call those people back.
I agree. And I know you're touching on a few points and I love that. One, I want to go back to the fact that these contractors, they think they're not working. We're not trying to say that by no means. Because the fact that they're having these issues is because they're working a lot. And that's the thing. We're saying and having this conversation so you can focus on what you like to do. There's individuals who love working in the field. Good on you. Stay in the field. Let's get everything so that doesn't get neglected. The second part is those referring back. remember, the majority of the industry is very reactive when it comes to working.
Yeah.
So what I learned very right off the bat, if I'm having a situation, most likely somebody else is having it. When it comes to construction, a lot of people are very slow. Like we talked with Jobber at one point, we talked with other contractors. They say till this day, their biggest competition is still pen and paper.
Oh, sure.
Because people are so slow to making changes when it comes to business.
Right.
So just understand that even if you lose a customer right now, you can still call back and follow up.
Right.
Because I'm going to bank on they don't have the systems that they need. You understand?
Yes, exactly.
And then that's where nurturing relationships come in. So even if you view it as, oh, I don't want to pay someone to pick up the phone, it's not just that. It's nurturing past relationships, nurturing past customers that you had, looking for that connection and that bridge again.
And keeping all those details. Because I always say too, and let's take it like just one step forward without going too far ahead, but like, great, maybe you got that lead because someone picked up the phone or you picked up the phone. Now it's in your CRM and you sent them an estimate and they didn't accept your estimate. And now like 90 days has gone by and you're like, oh shoot, I never followed up on that estimate. Like it's behind me. No, like sometimes that person got 10 estimates, 10 phone calls, whatever, and they ended up not being able to afford it at that time. Or they thought they got it fixed, but whoever did it wrong. Or they went with the cheapest bid and now they're still having that issue. And so you call back in 90 days and go, and I'm not saying you, I mean, someone at your company calls and goes, hey, you know what? We didn't follow up on that estimate. I know it's been a long time. I just wanted to make sure you found somebody to get that job done. Oh, you did? How's everything working for you? Oh, the lights are still flickering. You know what? Let me see if we can get out there and do a free inspection or a free quote. That is gold to growing your reputation. So even those little things that you go, oh, well, I missed all these estimates and now I'm going to get, a remote worker to help support me, but I already lost 10 grand because of mistakes. Like, don't beat yourself up. There's always opportunities to come back from that.
I call those like the extra fries in the bag. You can always go after them again. Oh man. Now with that in mind, how has Ninja VA came into this whole puzzle? What's your history like with Ninja? How did it come out to be what it is today? And like, where do you guys see the trajectory? What are you seeing with the contractors, the reactions?
So, I got wrapped up in Ninja VA because I knew our founder, Brandon Lazar, from a coaching program we were both a part of. And, I had heard his story a couple of times. I knew that he dabbled in like the VA space and the tech space, and he had some apps and he had some other stuff going on. And I love entrepreneurs. I've always worked with small business owners who are growing something, startups. Like, I love that. I love coming in and contributing. And this was super exciting to me because we're working with blue collar workers. We're working with electrical contractors. We're working with all kinds of trades. And it just really, whether it's small business owners or people who have been doing this a long time, ready to grow, like, I love that. I love problem solving with them. And the problem that Ninja VA solves is exactly what we're talking about. I'm working 10, 12 hours a day, and then I'm going home and I'm doing more. Or I'm working 10, 12 hours a day, and I'm not going home and doing more, and I'm not being able to follow up with customers. My books aren't clean. My receipts aren't reconciled. Like, all the things that pile up when we're in the field, we're doing the things, we're coaching the guys, whatever it might be. So we insert remote workers into that equation. So we take a remote worker that, as I kind of referenced earlier, is cost effective for business owners, and we plug them into your business and we help support you throughout that process. There's several things that make us unique. I think the biggest part is we come from the trades. Brandon's been a coach in this industry. He has other apps in this industry. I come from this industry. Our two other core team members come from this industry. The people that are on our client success team are small business owners in other industries, but they've been intimately involved in startups and understand small business. And so everybody that's on this team really has a heart for what trades owners go through. And many of us have been through it ourselves.
And that's the part that still fascinates me. And I appreciate that, because we're in this space where we understand there's these other names out there who are doing the same thing when it comes to like helping out businesses grow.
Yeah.
But it's so rare to find somebody who's in the space themselves. You know, one of my biggest pet peeves, and it'll always be when we'll go to like these business, like contractors always know the right thing to say. Like everyone's like, you got to work on your business, so you're not in your business, and then they're still in their business. You know what I mean? I'm like, please stop telling me.
I think be realistic. Like I would like, I'm, you know, part of the leadership team here at Ninja VA. And some days I'm like, you are so deep in the business. Like, do not dare tell anybody to work on the business day. It is inevitable that we do that, right?
And
like that's not necessarily valuable advice.
And especially in the trades, it's so like I view it as a nutshell as still the Wild West, as in it has the potential there, but it's so difficult to. There's things that you can automate. But at the end of the day, it's like a hammer still gets swung, and you can't automate that.
Yeah.
So, like with all these other businesses that grow, the principle still applies. Yes, there's principles that we can apply, but it's so hard to understand, speak the language, understand the pain points of a contractor. We've spoken about others where they're like, "Oh, you want more money? Just double your rates." Like, you're like, I barely got this job, you know, and you're telling me to just double. Like, you understand that's not going to help. Well, then you got the wrong customer. Well, I can't compete in that space because it's like a union dominated or a commercial contract. You know, they're like, there's just things that you physically can't do. There's barriers to it. You know, so it's like, how do you go about that? And then having the assistance, not only with Ninja VA, but just the team, because the part I want to start talking also about is how you do contractor education. Not only do you say like, hey, let's tackle these, you know, operations with you, but at the same time, hey, by the way, did you know this, and it helps contractors. So what's that relationship like?
That's one thing that I am really proud of, is being able to come in and implement client coaching. So once a month we jump on just for our ecosystem, and we coach on various topics and bring in special guests. So things like, you know, talking about your books, past, present, and future, because they are the key to whatever your game plan is with your business. If your books aren't in order, whatever that vision is, handing it off to your kids, selling it, retiring, whatever it might be, if your books aren't in order, that dream is going to be very hard to achieve. And so that's just like one example of a client coaching that we do. So to supplement with some of our preferred partners, right? Like with what you're doing, you're really leading in this education space when it comes to electrical contractors, and really leading the charge there. And it's like, what kind of preferred partners can we work with that gives more people in our ecosystem access to great educators? And then how can we help supplement that from the ops standpoint that you talk about, but also maybe just things that you need to hear all the time as a business owner. It's cool if you're going to coach them on their books and their P&L or their bank statements. But guess what? In another 3 months, in the next quarter, we need to be reminded, because 100 other fires happened. And so that's something that we offer on top of, hey, we're bringing you virtual assistants that have been through our assessment, that have taken a personality test, that you get to interview. And we're going to lead that for you to help support you and guide you through the process. You're going to get an onboarding with us. Yeah, that's all great. But also, we're coming from this space and we're talking to our clients all the time and going, oh, this is an issue right now. Tariffs are an issue right now when that was an issue. Let's talk about how to make sure that you're always recession proof. What does that look like? So I like to talk to our clients, find out what's priority for them. What are the pain points people are experiencing now? Because it changes. You know, we just had gas prices spike. You know, okay, let's pivot. Let's talk about that.
I didn't think about that.
What do we do? Do we increase our job prices right now? How are we factoring in for this? And maybe we weren't ready for this but you'll be ready next time. And I think that's important. You know, we don't do the one-on-one coaching. We leave that to our preferred partners. We don't do the consulting, but hey, jump on with us once a month. Join our school.
And brainstorm.
Yeah, join our school group and brainstorm with other people in our community. The more community, the better.
I love that. And especially because, once again, we take pride in our work. Another one of those, not stigmas, but one of those cultural beliefs when it comes to construction is like, I always got to do it alone. You know what I mean? The lone wolf type. And
or I do it like nobody's going to do it like me.
No one does it like me. I'll figure it out, you know.
And I get it, because nobody does it like me.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I'll make sure I get it right with blood, sweat, and tears, or I'll fall down 7. And it's not saying that there's no value in that. And I loved what you break down. What was you talking about in the sense of wisdom versus knowledge?
Oh,
I love that.
I just think like, it's great to have that knowledge, right? Oh, you've been doing this for 30 years or whatever it might be. Like you got your contractor's license. Like that's hard. That is a very hard thing. And you're coming out with all this knowledge. Now we got to build up that wisdom. And we need you to bring that wisdom, especially if you're going to grow a business, because it is blood, sweat, and tears. Yes. But we can minimize the stress of those moments when it is the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, it's more intentional.
Yeah, and
I think like going to the gym, like the other day I went to a job site like last week, and I'm still banged up from it. So I'm like, what is going on? But then at the same time, I still have calluses from the workout. So I'm like, oh, so you're going to leave with something every time. But is it intent? Like, this is annoying because I wasn't expecting it. This is like, I look forward to that. This is
intentional. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And again, what we started this conversation talking about, like, interrogate the roots. Is that the way you want to go running the business? Do you want to be a really skilled tradesperson and work for somebody that's a really great leader and building something big? Like, I think that's first, right? But once you're a business owner, like, seek out wisdom. Like, you got the knowledge. We know you know how to do it. And that wisdom piece comes from surrounding yourself by a team of people that can do things better than you do. I wish that I was an expert at everything. My wheelhouse is operations and systems. And put me in any situation, it can be as chaotic as possible. And I, with a lot of certainty, can have that thing running on systems in 90 days. Like that is my wheelhouse. That's my skill. If somebody came to me and was like, hey, you did that, that was awesome. Now go generate all these leads and create a marketing strategy. I would be like, I'm hiring that out because that's not my wheelhouse. But I know that. So I know that I have to hire somebody and I have to inspect what I expect from them. But I need to let them do it. And I need to be able to read the data, and I need to be able to follow up, and I need to pivot quickly if it's not working. But I don't need to press buy on the meta ads. I don't need to look through every lead that came through on Google ads. I need to trust somebody else with that. I need to have the wisdom that every Friday I'm checking that report that my team's sending me that's telling me how many leads we got, how many we closed, where they came from, whatever data you have on that, the revenue we collected, what's outstanding, and then direct my team from there.
I like that. And where do you feel like when it comes to contractors, when it comes to the construction industry? Once again, we mentioned that it's the Wild West. We were mentioning it's like slow to change a lot. We're seeing contractors take that approach, but there's still that underlining, I want to try to figure out as I go too, so they can feel like they have that wisdom, like it's a badge of honor, the 10, 12-hour shift. Are you starting to see that there's a shift happening, as in more questions are being asked, or how is that flow from the operation side that you're seeing and working with them? Is it something that you teach them 1 or 2 times and then it clicks for them, or is it something that you still have to like nurture?
I think it's hard. I think it takes nurturing. Like I just said, even for I'm in the industry of, here's how you disseminate the knowledge to someone you're going to delegate, and this is how you follow up. And I still catch myself going, if I would just teach them to fish right now, this would be a lot
Oh,
easier.
wow.
Right.
Okay.
And so I still get bogged down in that because we're only human and we have to kind of have that reminder and that sort of like, hey, and that's where Ninja VA comes in. I think that's where
Yeah.
coaching comes in, right? Consulting comes in, is having someone over your shoulder to go, hey, you're getting really caught up in the wrong thing again here.
Mhm.
Let's teach that person to fish, as it were,
Yeah.
and let them catch their own fish because we got some other stuff to do over here,
I like that.
right? And so I see that a lot from contractors is, hey, everything was going really great. You know, maybe they've brought a remote worker on from us. Everything was going great. We do a quarterly check-in and they're like, I don't know what else to give them.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, when was the last networking event you went to in your community? Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't even know when the next one is. I'm like, great.
Don't look it
Slack
up.
your virtual assistant right now and ask them to go find the next 3 networking events in your community, research them, which one's going to be best for
How to
your,
get prepared
for
that.
you.
Get
Yeah.
2 questions you want answered.
Are you comfortable speaking in front of people? Cool. Ask your VA if there's a sponsorship opportunity where you can get up and speak.
Yep.
You know, they're
Exactly.
here in Greenville, South Carolina, they have a business and brews.
Oh yeah.
You
That's
know,
awesome.
like
Yeah.
I have coached contractors before, like, oh, we don't have anything like that. Start it. Lead it.
Yep.
Again, I like to talk about what grows your business. Like
Mhm.
operations does, writing an SOP does, having your VA write an SOP. It does. You don't see the impact right away because
Mhm.
it's about efficiency. It's also about just adding value to your business in general, but you don't see the impact right away. So I always like to go like, let's be real. We all, we probably want to make more money. We want to put more money in our pocket. We want to pay our guys more or give them benefits or whatever it might be. So how do we get more money into this business? And I think we just right away go, we'll close more jobs. We answer the phone more.
Yeah.
And that's true. But whenever that dries up, you still have had to have all those other channels working. So when was the last time you went and networked?
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that research. You can, that's a $10 an hour task someone can do for you so you can be at a coffee meetup one-on-one with a commercial contract you want to close.
And so we just came from an event in Sacramento and we spent the whole day on exhibitor floor, on and off. We had 2 contractors with us that we're working with, and both of them got business and had nothing to do with during the convention. It was afterwards at the networking thing. I was like, you see?
Yeah.
And they were like, and I said, now if you intentionally do that with once a week, just who's one person you're going to have a coffee with.
Yes.
And then also recognize that it's not that one coffee, but you're now on his mind because it's like, oh, that was a nice guy, right?
Yeah.
And then next week something comes up and you're like, I don't want to tackle that. I'll refer so-and-so.
Exactly.
And it's because like we also broke down as contractors, there's so many things that are out of our control. And it's so easy to say, this is the market, this is the industry, you don't know what's going on, this is where I live. At the end of the day, when it comes to, especially when it comes to leadership and taking accountability, it's like, so did you come into business just to complain? No. All right, so now we are both on the same page, we have to do something, right?
Yeah.
Now it comes to the doing something part. What is in your control? So
I love that.
When we break down, like just for example, let's just say with sales, when it comes to getting jobs as an electrician, I feel like it's a little bit harder than lawn care, than power washing, than any just laborious task. Because anybody can look for a handyman, anybody can do a painting. For electricians, when the phone rings, it's usually emergency, right? The lights don't work.
Right.
There's an electrical fire or I'm building a house.
People don't even know what they want. I mean, like I'm a homeowner and there's problems I've had that I'm like, if I call an electrician right now, I really don't even know what to tell them what's wrong. And they're going to be like, are you crazy? Like, I don't even know what I'm asking for really. And so the people that are calling you as an electrician too, especially if you're heavy residential, they're really worried about getting scammed. They are really worried about someone going, yep, we can help you, we'll be out there, and it costing double of what it is. They don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to start doing better in our control, because like when a call comes in and you're there to answer it. One thing what we talked about with our team, it's like we have to be 911.
Yes.
We have,
Yep.
if there's an electrical issue, we have to answer the call. So once they call us, at this point, it's no longer, we did a training with our dispatch, 911 dispatch and fire EMS.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
smart.
Why do you guys so cool and collective?
Yeah.
They said, because they're already experiencing the worst time of their life.
Yes.
And we talked about it. One of my biggest pet peeves, I already said like 4 pet peeves. I got problems. This is like the 4th one I think I mentioned.
Yeah, don't ask me mine.
Right.
Just stick on you.
But we just mentioned, I've been doing this for 30 years, or in my 30 years, I've never seen something like this before. Homeowners, when they're calling and need help, they just want reassurance that it's going to get taken care of. You know, their family, their kids, you know, they have no lights. It's middle of summer and the power's off. They're trying to figure out how to get this situation resolved. So when they call you, what I've always had, my biggest pet peeve is when you have a contractor show up and all of a sudden they're basically like what we talked about, WebMD, the house is going to fall apart.
Right.
So now you're like, come on, like it was an outlet and now you're telling me this beam's coming down. Like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So we did the training with the local EMS in our town, local EMS, local fire dispatch, and we're like, how do you communicate with people when they're calling you in the worst time of their life?
Yeah.
And think about it. There's a lot of people who still don't have insurance and stuff like that. But if there's a medical emergency, do you care if the ambulance is going to send a bill? No. At the end of the day, you want them taken care of. Your daughter taken care of, someone was choking, someone got injured. You just want 911. You just need someone there.
Yeah.
How do we become that for the trades? So you want to be 911 first. You want to market yourself enough where if something happens, who are they going to call? You should be 911.
Yeah.
Now that you're answering the call, how are you now transferring comfort? So the hardest part already happened. Now help's coming. Yeah. So that's what I'm starting to see. And it goes down to the soft skill side of things.
Yeah. And I like that you brought that up, because I was just coaching a group of virtual assistants not too long ago. And we were talking about that exact thing and listening. Like, again, it doesn't matter if it's a virtual assistant or if it's you, the business owner. If you're not listening, really listening when someone is talking to you, client, employee, you're missing so much, right? Of course, tone of voice is the most obvious thing. But what else? What's happening in the background? Is there also a baby crying and she smells smoke and she thought it was coming from an outlet? Like, hey, I hear your baby crying in the background. I am already on it. Just want to confirm your address. I don't want you to worry anymore about this. We're on our way. Or this is when we'll be there, right? Like, what are the cues that separate you from everybody else just by listening and getting tone of voice, what type of words they're using, what's happening in the background, and then like really listening and making notes as they're talking. Oh, it smells like smoke and you saw a spark at the outlet? No, that's not what I said. I just saw a spark. I don't smell smoke. Like, they're, to your point, they're already upset. They're already stressed. We have to listen and we have to respond correctly to that. And, you know, not only are we doing that client coaching, but we're doing the virtual assistant coaching as well. So we can have conversations like this. And what's unique, not to get off track, but what's unique about remote workers is a lot of them came up in the call centers. And while that scares people sometimes, it is actually one of the best assets you can have in a VA, because I'm sure all of us have called a credit card company or our cable company at some point and yelled at somebody on the phone or gotten frustrated with somebody because there's a fraudulent charge or we got charged a late fee. And that's what a lot of remote workers, they've built their career there. And now they've gone and worked as a virtual assistant in the aftermath of that. And now they're here at Ninja VA. So they, above anybody, has learned that skill set of, that is super frustrating. That is super scary. we can be out there in 30 minutes. Thank you for, let me confirm this information. You go take care of what you need to. My guy, Wilson, will be there in 30 minutes. We got you.
Yep. I love that. And it just goes back to reinforcing what's in our control. So if you're a contractor, all of this stuff is out there.
Yeah.
I love how you do those trainings. I'm a big guy when it comes to training. We did the Dale Carnegie training. We've done the Disney training.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, customer service. We've done the Ritz-Carlton training, the gold standard of hospitality.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just visiting one of our clients, and they modeled their like training after the Ritz-Carlton, and so they have their own little like, I don't remember what it is, like the Ritz-Carlton promise or, you know, whatever it is. They have like their own version up on their wall.
Yeah. It's just, there's so much more to business. And once again, if you take an hour or two out of your schedule to tackle these things, you as a business owner can now invest that back into your team. You know, you can start setting them up in the right way.
Well, it goes to what we've been kind of talking about this whole time, right? Is you can pour 10 or 12 hours into your business every day. And we can talk about why I don't think it should be every day. But if you're going to do that, 12 hours of it better not be in the field or in the truck.
Or that gives nothing in return.
It stifles the growth so fast.
Yep. And then it robs the joy because it's once again, it goes back to it being in a reactive position.
Yes.
Not because you're there because you want to know.
Yeah.
No, it's you have to because you said yes to that job, you took the deposit, and now you're just working again.
Yep.
You understand?
Exactly.
Because you put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
What I love about this is because I want contractors to understand the value that they have.
Yeah.
The contractors, once again, we talked about fire EMS. People don't care that there's a bill coming. I need help.
Right.
911, they trust you enough to give you that first call. When it comes to doctors, when it comes to lawyers, nobody goes and argues with a doctor or a lawyer or asks them to lower their prices. True or not?
Right.
You expect it.
Yeah.
Right? But yet blue collar will come in. They're sloppy, disorganized. They don't handle it. And now we get this, hey, here's my price. Oh, can you go lower? I really want electricians or plumbers or HVAC, anybody in the construction space to come in and have that pride, that reputation where they can come in with the VA. Imagine your calls are handled, you're scheduled, you're following up. Hey, we told you we're going to be there at 1. Guess what? We ran into a snag. We're going to be 30 minutes late. I learned the hard way. Homeowners don't care if you're late. Yeah. They don't care. They care if they want to know. If you're not going to be there at 9 o'clock, if you're going to be there at 11, they'll be upset.
Yeah.
But the Google review says that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't call, that's the worst. Because they took off work, they got a bait, whatever it is.
Exactly.
They did that. And if you and you're thinking, oh, I just don't want to bother them, I'll just show up. Like, no, they want a heads up. Yeah. Even they may be upset, but at least they'll honor that. With it, when it comes to blue collar, I want us to fix that reputation up where we can have that. Hey, here's the bill, and they expect it. Because that's what you built up, that reputation. Yeah. So what do you think? We understand there's tasks in the field. We understand there's tasks in the office. What are some of the success stories that you've had or that you've seen and people you worked with in the trade space that they get to now enjoy different parts of their life that they didn't know was possible because they started structuring these things?
I mean, this probably, seems cliche, and I'm sure you've seen it on other ads, but you've seen it because it's true. I've had clients tell me, this is the first vacation I've been able to take.
Wow.
So, that right there probably feels like a luxury to a lot of people. And they're maybe taking vacation, but they're on their laptop or their phone answering questions the whole time. That's not a vacation.
Once again, but people normalize that. So like, you're not real blue collar unless you're on, I always see those Disney moms. They're like, oh, husband entered the work, Yeah.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay. And even if you go, but I love it, I'm a workaholic, I love it. Yeah. Your body's not going to love it by the time you retire. Yeah. And coming from where I come from in the Midwest, it's a lot of manufacturing. And people will retire, and 1 month later, they're having a massive heart attack, and they can't enjoy their retirement because their bodies know nothing different but the repetitiveness of that factory job. Or they're retiring at 62, maybe a little bit early, and their knees are shot in the first year out of their job. They're getting double knee replacement, and so the next 6 months of their retirement's shot. Not the end of the world, but that's not how I want to retire. I want to be able to retire, and if my body is shot when I retire, at least I was able to take all those vacations while I was working and enjoy them. So I know that's a little off topic of what you're asking, but that's just kind of the first thing, is like that feeling. Like, just imagine that feeling. I know we all kind of dream of that feeling of like, I'm not answering my phone for 3 days. I'm not opening my email for 3-4 days. And you have no stress or panic, and you can sleep well knowing that people are handling that. Your team in the field is doing the right thing. They're putting on the booties when they go in the house. They're picking up their tools. They're being polite. You know that's being handled. And then you know that the phone's being answered. You know that the estimates are being sent out and being followed up with. And so that's just, to me, that's the biggest thing. A lot of people who go, why'd you start this business? It wasn't so I can work more, so I can lose sleep at night, so I can never go on vacation with my family again. No, it was all the opposite of that. So why are we now glorifying it, or being like telling our family to go on vacation without us? Like, ugh, that's not a good feeling. And now you're working and you have that in the back of your head.
Exactly.
So that's the one of the best things I hear. Or I took my wife on a date night, or I showed up for all my kids' events this year. I just cannot underestimate or over talk about it, because that's just, I don't want any small business owner to get to retirement and be like,
it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it.
Imagine
and
that.
honestly, it really, really, like, money can buy things that make life very comfortable, but it's very true that it doesn't buy happiness, and it doesn't buy relationships, and it does not get you time back. And so protect your time is just number one. Not to get hyper emotional. I know that's not always the blue collar way, but like, I promise you, because I've seen it and I've heard it from guys, like, I wish I would have started making these moves 10, 15 years ago, because I'm 59 and a half and I'm just calling you now to get support in my business. And this was my retirement plan. And so I just don't want to see people get to retirement age and their business is still a little in debt. They're still trying to manage everything. Maybe they weren't setting aside for retirement, and selling this was the retirement plan. And now your business is devalued because the stuff you need is not in place. That breaks my heart. And that's what we have a passion for at Ninja VA, is like, yes, we are doing something that's simple in theory. We're finding a highly skilled VA, we're placing them with you to give you some time back, to take these repetitive tasks off your plate, send you on vacation, right? But really, when I think about it long-term, it's that. Like, if a business owner bumps into me 10 years from now and is like, my retirement looks a lot better because I did this, or like, man, I sleep better at night, that makes my heart grow. Like the Grinch, it makes my heart grow a couple sizes, right? So, I was on a call not too long ago with a business owner, and he's like, hey, I brought somebody else to the call, and he held up his 3-week-old baby and introduced me to him. And I was like, you're going to make me cry. We're starting this client connect off with me almost crying, because that was just so sweet. And the fact that, like, he has time to spend with his newborn in the morning, and we have a 15-minute check-in call and can celebrate the birth of that baby together. And he's not stressed about like, oh no, I need to be up this early because I need to do the schedule for the day. No, he was telling me how his VA was on top of that, and he could enjoy this time in the morning with his newborn. I know that when he looks back and he's retired or with his grandkids, he's going to be like, oh, that was so worth it.
I love seeing that. I love seeing that because, like you mentioned, Contract, nobody's coming in, and we go into detail when it comes to like the life expectancy of a contractor.
Mm.
And nobody says they're coming in for the stress, for
Yeah.
the no pay, for
Mhm.
the long nights, for the long hours. No one's coming in outright saying that's what I want.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mhm.
They see the potential, they see what's involved, and they're willing to take the risk on it. But if you were to tell them, hey, this is what it's going to look like for 30 years,
Yeah.
many would say, why would I do that?
Mhm.
That's why, once again, like tie it back to the beginning when you mentioned like defining what that success is. Like, that's awesome to see because people don't know that that's possible. You
Mhm.
understand?
Yeah.
Or once again, they don't believe that it can happen. But we understand even adopting a VA, starting to structure these things, it doesn't happen overnight.
No. No.
But hey, now you have an hour during the day you can take wifey out to a lunch date
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
Tuesday while you know
Yeah.
every other contractor's working.
Exactly.
You know, or have enough to
Exactly.
take your kid to school
Yep.
and then go straight back to the job site.
Yeah.
You have that. It's or that 1 hour go to the gym now. Now
Yep.
your knees are better for you see for when you were.
Exactly.
People don't understand it's those little hours,
Mhm.
45-minute pockets that pop up.
Yep.
And once again, we talked about being in the field, working and answering that phone call.
Yeah.
I've done that for years, and you know, it's just habit. You're
Yep.
working, you're talking, cool. You don't think anything of it.
Mhm.
But then there's moments where you feel good just working and the phone not ringing. So you're like, you can enjoy the work now.
And I'm sure you missed something. I'm sure there was a point
yeah.
where you were like, "Oh,
What
I
did he
just dug
say?
this too deep," or
Was it 10? Was it 3 o'clock or 3:30? Ah man,
Exa-
something. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or you get off and you're like, "Okay, it was 3:30 tomorrow. This is the address." But what was that person's name?
Yep.
You know, or like, were they upset? Were they cool? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Like, I think they told me about their kid, and I don't know their kid's name. Or they said, did they say there was a dog in the backyard? Like, what was
Yep.
the dog's name? And that's the stuff that gets you the word of mouth referral
Yeah.
business. And now you're missing out on it because you were digging, or
Yeah.
I've been
It's context clues. Yeah.
I've been on a Zoom with a contractor who's in his car, and the client walked up to the window and starts talking to him, and he's on a Zoom with me because he's trying to do everything. And I'm like, freaking end the call with me, hang up on me and talk to your client. I don't want you to lose business because you're like, hold on, I'm on a call. Like, I'm not that important.
Yeah.
Go get that client.
Yeah.
But man, no, I
Yeah.
want you to have 30 minutes in your week that you can meet with me and we can discuss your VA's performance or how you're doing.
Yeah. We have
Once a quarter. That's
Yeah.
once a quarter. I'm trying to get you face to face
Yeah.
as a contractor and go, how's everything going with your virtual assistant? Any support you need from me on coaching? And
Yeah.
you can't find 30 minutes in a quarter because what I uncover in those calls is, oh, I'm still not handing stuff off to my virtual assistant,
Mhm.
right? I'm still trying to own all this. I'm still not trusting them to upload a receipt. And that's, you know, that's
Exactly.
something different. Like, that's like the stubbornness that we have. That's the,
Yep.
listen, like, a lot of us are A-type personalities that have that entrepreneurial spirit
Mhm.
and that business building spirit. We got to learn how to let go and,
Yeah.
you know, and trust and inspect what we expect instead of being, that truck should not be your office. If it is like, find somebody you can consult with.
Yeah.
Let's get you a virtual assistant and let's start
I-
getting some things lined
I
up.
think they first need a hug. Like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And
I've
then
been
we
able
come-
to go visit some of our clients and shoot some content with them. And I love giving them a hug. It's so fun to
Yeah.
meet our clients and give these guys a hug and be like,
Yeah.
man, I know the sacrifice to build your business. And I'm getting to meet clients that like have implemented these things. And now they're able to spend a morning with me to shoot content and talk about their business and their business story without being stressed. And that's another way you grow your business, or you grow your personal brand, or you grow the next business, is by what you and I are doing right here and having the ability to do that without the panic that my business is burning down while I do this thing.
Exactly. It's just so much out there. It's so much out there.
Mhm.
There's so much, but it just shines a light on the potential it has.
Yes.
And there's, once again, there's all these different things. And in just this short amount of
Mhm.
time of talking, we talked already about like 4 or 5 different points where you as a contractor, you as an electrician, you as a business owner has to address. But you can't address this in the field right now. You can think about it. You can hear all the motivational books. You can read all the books. You can hear all the audios. You can watch all the podcasts. But it's not going to shift until you start branching away. And it doesn't have to be the 8-hour just dump something on someone's lap right away. But it can start by buying back a little bit of that time, 30, 1 hour, 2-hour tasks. And then you start really appreciating that 1 hour. And I tell you, that becomes the most addicting thing. When for an hour you can just breathe. And then you're like, okay, what else can I do? Or what do you use with that time that you hired them and that they're working on that task? What are you going to do? Because that's where that exponential growth comes from.
Oh, yeah.
Because now that task you were doing, you're just doing what you had to do. But now they're doing what you had to do, what the business required of you, regardless of you or someone else. But now then you say, in that 1 hour, I'm going to network. Now you start growing in double capacity. And that's where that growth really comes in from. Now, if you want to use that time to lay back at home, cool. Then you're just getting that R&R. You know, but using that time when it comes to you for the growth of it, that's when a lot of these things are changing for you. And that's what I think a lot of contractors want. They just don't think it's a reality. I think it's the culture that tells them differently, right?
And let's be real too. There's a lot of marketing of different services coming at contractors. Get ads through, hire us to run your ads, hire us to get more leads, hire us to get you a remote worker, hire us to consult with you, to coach you, whatever. There's a lot coming at you and you have to have a lot of discernment. And so sometimes it's easier to just be like, I'm not doing any of it because I might pick the wrong person or the wrong thing. And I get that fear as a consumer. I get that fear as a homeowner. I'm just gonna not deal with this electrical problem right now because I don't even know who to call. And
if you don't look at it, it's fine. Not happening.
If this one outlet doesn't work right now, it's fine. I'm just gonna wait, right? I get that.
I did that with the IRS and it didn't work.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I can't help you with that problem.
I had a state marshal at my house.
Oh my gosh.
That's a whole nother podcast. I'm telling you.
So don't do that. But and then you have people like me who will say there is also no silver bullet. So you working with Energize Us or you finding a VA through Ninja VA, that is not the silver bullet to your business. I wish my ego was strong enough to tell you that it is and just kind of baloney you, but it's not. There's no silver bullet to your business. It's a combination of all these things. And going back to what we said earlier, like not just the knowledge, like, could I figure out how to run meta ads? Yeah, I could. Is that where the best use of my bandwidth is right now? No. And even if I have the knowledge and I know how to do it, that shouldn't be my role in the business. If I'm running an electrical contracting business, right? Because I'm trying to grow the business in a different way. I'm the face of the business. I'm out there doing it. So you got to have the wisdom to know, hey, this is not going to be a silver bullet for my business, but it's where I start to make the changes in the right direction. And the first person you hire to run your meta ads, maybe they do fail and you got to pivot. Maybe the first VA you hire wasn't a good personality match, wasn't a good pace match. When we hire at Ninja VA, we tell all the applicants, like, we're high energy, we move fast, we will pivot if something's not working, and we will try a lot of things until we go, hey, that's working, let's run that for 90 days. Let's try this sequence. And at 90 days, when we read the data and it's not working, we're gonna pivot. So if you don't like change, don't work here. And we're gonna figure out if you like change probably within the first 30 days. And we will change by letting you go and finding the next person. So your first VA,
change is happening
they might not be the right fit, right? That doesn't mean a VA doesn't work. That doesn't mean it doesn't work, right? You still need to pour into them a little bit too. You still need to, and that's where we come in to help guide you on that. But nothing is a silver bullet for your business. But all these things are opportunities to gain wisdom. So you start making those decisions faster And the more decisions you make, the better you get at like understanding your
and the
gut and
confidence.
feeling it and
Yeah.
identifying flags and people and products and things like that. So I just always like to put that caveat out there because I am always suspicious of people who are like just definitive, this service or this product, like it just changes everybody's business and it is.
Yeah.
No, like it's not always a silver bullet. You're a big part of this too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're that foundation, you know,
Mhm.
so it won't change unless, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm super excited. No, and I know there's so
I'm
much
too.
more to come. And I feel like
Yeah.
today was a great overview
Yeah.
of exactly what's to come, what Ninja VA is tackling, especially on a construction industry level.
Yeah.
You're really breaking into the stigmas, the pain points contractors are facing, and you're really making a change. Let's say if someone's interested in learning more about what Ninja VA has to offer, where can they go to?
Yeah, go to ninjava.com. Right at the top of the page, it's going to say learn more.
Okay.
And grab some time. You're going to talk to either myself, if you're lucky enough.
Yeah.
You're probably going to talk to me or one of my teammates. And especially if you're somebody who likes straight shooters, because we're going to tell you like the truth. Like we're going to say, hey, you need to be prepared for this. You need to do this. You need to phrase this differently. You don't have any core values. You don't have a good foundation. Start there. Like we will shoot you straight. So I think it's really good for people who are like, I want to cut through some of the BS.
Yeah.
I want to get to the heart of it, but I also need some support. You tell me the level of support you need, and we're going to help guide you through the process. But yeah, visit ninjava.com and hit book a call. And it's really simple. It's a strategy call. We want to hear your pain points and then help you solve them.
Appreciate you, everybody. We're going to put that information down in the description, maybe with a referral code or whatever they need. So you guys, whatever you guys are going to need, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to find the answer to it. But thank you, Rebecca, for everything, your time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.